Hey, math fans, we're on section 2.7.2. Let's get started. Example 1, determine the function that represents the relationship between x and y in the following graph. Well, the first thing I observe is that this is a curved function, definitely going to be exponential. However, it doesn't look like our normal exponential function, so we're going to have to still make a table. When I make a table, I see that it's passing through the points 0, -1, which is going to be the y-intercept, 1, -3, and it's also passing through 2, -9. There's not a common difference because these are actually being multiplied here. So we're going to be, again, looking for a common ratio or a base for an exponential function. When we divide -3 divided by -1, and when we divide -9 divided by -3, we get a common ratio of 3 for both. So remember to check at least 2 points in order to get that common ratio or common difference, because you want to make extra sure that there's a pattern. And we can see that b is going to be equal to 3. Since this is a continuous function, it's not going to be, like a sequence or anything else. So we can use the intercept, and we can use this function right here where we're using the y-intercept, the common ratio, and it's just going to be x in the exponent. The y-intercept is -1. We already determined that the common ratio or the base is going to be 3. And then we just need to solve for k. So we substitute any point. I chose 1, -3. And then -3 will go in for the y, and 1 will go in for the x. And we get that k is equal to 0. So our final answer is going to be -3, or -1, f of x is equal to -1, 3 to the x plus 0, or you can just write it f of x is equal to the opposite of 3 raised to the x power. And that's your final answer. Example 2 says determine the function that represents the relationship between x and y in the following graph. This is an obvious linear function. Obviously, we're just going to be determining the slope. Again, make a table, just check a couple points just to be extra sure. Sure enough, this is increasing by 3 as the y value is increasing by 3 as x is increasing by 1. So your slope is going to be equal to 3, and then it's obvious from the graph that the intercept is going to be -4. So your final answer is f of x is equal to 3x minus 4. Example 3, a clothing store discounts items on a regular schedule. And as you can see from the table, as the weeks increase, something's happening in the price in dollars. And my question is are these steadily decreasing? And the answer is no, they're not decreasing by the same amount. So again, we're going to be trying to figure out that common ratio so we can get a base. This is going to be an exponential function. Again, how do you get that base? And sometimes it's called R, sometimes it's called B, but this is how you get it. You take one of the y values and you divide it by the previous y value. So what's 60 divided by 100? What's 36 divided by 60? What's 21.6 divided by 36? And you're going to get 0.6 for all of them. That's how you get that common ratio. You have to do at least 2 of these. And there's my base equation, my base function for an exponential. I'm using the intercept because it makes sense to have an intercept right there. 0.6 will go in here, but we still need to solve for k, and you can choose any ordered pair to solve for k. In this case, I chose 0, 100, so you choose the intercept. I get k is equal to 0, so your final answer is going to be f of x equals 100 times 0.6 raised to the x power plus 0. Or you can just write it without the 0. And that is your final answer. And that's going to do it for this section. We'll see you in class.